Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Now, when I walked out here and turned the camera on, I looked at the screen and I couldn't see anything. I thought, what's gone wrong? And it was completely misted up. And I've got a very strange atmosphere in here at the moment. I've had the big fan on. So what I do with this one is I turn the heater off, but up the thermostat to say, give me heat, which basically turns the fan on, which is the big one. So that's been on the go. This has been on full, and I watered all the pots today apart from Derek's plants because they had a spray a while ago and they just don't use water very quickly, and I sprayed the mounts. Now as a consequence we get a lot of water on the floor and we get a lot of water in the atmosphere. So basically I've got a humidity in here that is just ridiculous because it's somewhere between 84 and 88% at about 27 degrees. That's quite high humidity at that temperature. And so, oh, my screen's fogged up again, I can see it. You're going to have to put up with me wiping it with me hanky. I've never had this problem before, ever. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll open the window and we'll open the door. Basically that'll get a flow of non-humid air through, and we'll turn the humidifier off because that will probably kick in, and then we'll let the cat in because he's noticed the door's open, and on the other side of this door is the food. Yay! That's Elvis, by the way. Right, so and the other one, you saw the door open as well. Come on, Fluffball. That's Mojo. He doesn't want food. He will just go in and sit down somewhere quiet. I've got a little bit of a worry with these two because Mojo has, in the last month or so, he's really slowed up. He never hurries anywhere. He just plods away and he sleeps an awful lot. And Elvis, his back legs are just getting weaker. So when he goes up the stairs now, instead of running up the stairs, he just sort of walks really gently. And he's having a little bit of trouble jumping up on the bed, which is his main place where he sleeps. So his back legs are starting to get weaker. They're getting old, and the signs are starting to show, which is, well, that's worrying. Right, so why I've started this video, whereas I should be repotting something, I'm not. I'm looking into something that I've never heard of before, but it's just sparked an interest, and I wonder if any of you out there have come across it as a thing. Now, quite a while ago I had a playing with cryptocurrency investments, and the trouble with that is if you look up the if you Google the sort of is this okay type principle, there are so many websites out there that invite you to join. You stake some money and they show you how to work their software and everything, but their algorithms are influenced and they're not genuine. So they're taking too much of your money away. And it just sounds a little bit iffy. So I had to play with that, and I was doing quite well, thank you very much. Until at one particular point I made an investment and it was doing very well, and I had to go out. I had to go and do something in my life that had to be done, so I walked away. And because I hadn't put a stop, you can put a stop point whereby if your investment drops beyond a certain point, you just get rid of it. So you cut your losses, and I hadn't put that on there because I was sitting there watching it. I didn't need it. Unfortunately, I went away and that basically took all the money out of my account. So I never bothered carrying on. It was my fault. I'm not having a go, you know. But I've come across something now that sounds interesting because it involves being there. It involves doing things. And I wondered if there's anybody out there that's come across it. It's called matched betting. And it's basically geared up to taking advantage of bookmakers' free offers. So if you sign up to me, I will give you a £25 free bet. But to do that, you have to invest like £25. So you have to sign up and use your own £25 to get the £25 free bet. So it sounds like even Stevens at this point. So basically, you put your money in, the amount is irrelevant, it's the principle I'm after. So you put your money in, whatever it is, and you make a bet based on a black and white bet. So like you've got a football team playing another football team, as an example, and you bet on one of them to win. There are only 3 possible outcomes. Either that team wins, or it loses, or it draws. And if you're betting on it to win, the other 2 options are one and the same, because if they draw, they didn't win. You see what I mean? And then what you do is you place an equal bet on the other team to win. This is where the match betting comes along. You sort of following this, yeah? So basically, one of your bets is guaranteed to win. That's the idea of the match betting. One of your bets is guaranteed to win, but as a consequence, one of them is also guaranteed to lose. So you are basically in a break-even situation, apart from the fact that the bookmaker you signed up with has offered you a 25, well, whatever, an amount of money as a free bet. You now take advantage of that and do a match bet. So you're using somebody else's money, not your own. So your initial outlay is virtually guaranteed to make a slight loss because of costs and things like that. Yeah, so you bet on what I call a black and white. You bet on something to win where the only other outcomes are draw or lose, and then you make an equal bet on the other team side. This could be a tennis player, it could be a cricket match, it could be a rugby match. Mainly based on sporting events, but basically because they're quick. You know they're coming, and when they're done and it's finished and you can sort of deal with it. So it's a lot of it is to do with sporting events. There's nothing illegal about it and there's nothing wrong with it. All you're doing is playing the bookmakers against themselves, and I like the idea of that, because have you ever seen a poor bookmaker? Have you ever seen a bookmaker turn up at his shop in a Corsa? No, he'll be in a Jag or a Mercedes or a BMW. They're not poor people, they make money out of us. But in amongst the people that they're making money out of, there are some winners that earn a lot of money being clever at the game. So I'm looking into having a play with this. They say you can spend 15 minutes to an hour a day and make a reasonable profit. If you're prepared to put a bit more time in, you can make more of a profit. These are not big profits, but they're regular. And if you can put the time in, you can basically have multiple things going on at the same time instead of just one. So I'm looking at it. I didn't say I'm getting involved, but I've signed up for a course, and part of this course is to have a go. So as part of this course, I will actually do a match bet to prove to myself, these people say, that it actually works. So the basic principle is taking advantage of bookmakers offering you a free bet if you take on a bet with them. So you invest some money, make a bet, and by doing so you get a free bet. So your first bet you edge by using 2 bookmakers. You bet one against the other so that one of them's going to win and one of them's going to lose. That's like a break even. Yeah? Not quite, there will be a slight loss involved, but then you get a free bet. And you do the same thing again. Bet one against the other. And now you're not using your own money. It sounds good. It's not big money, because you know the money you're staking at the end of the day is what the bookmaker offers you as a free bet. So we're not looking big money here. You know, some of them it'll be like 10 quid, some of them it might even be 25 quid, some of them might even be a bit more. But it's not a lot of money, but you compound it. The only downside I can see is that you're going to run out of bookmakers. You see what I'm getting at? You know, there's only so many you can sign up to and get a free bet. But you have to bear in mind, who am I? How do they check who I am? And if it's an email address, I can generate 20 brand new email addresses in about 2 minutes flat. So it depends on what they do to actually identify you as an individual. And if those checks aren't that great, then me as an individual can exist in the Ethernet of the internet many times. So we'll see how it goes. But what I'm after is, anybody had a play with this matched betting? Anybody even heard of it? And if you've had a play with it, did it work out okay? Or was it a miserable failure? Was it one of these things that looks good at the beginning and starts off great and then just goes whack, 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 downhill fast, and you need to get out quick? So yeah, it's all good fun, isn't it? You can tell I'm bored, can't you? And what it comes down to is, somebody sent me a personal email with my Rogers Orchids email address sort of thing, basically advising me about, you know, obviously I've had my inheritance money now. Well, just to let you know, I had £5,000 invested in premium bonds. The group of us, the four of us, put the spare money, £25,000, in my premium bonds account to get some winnings, and we didn't do bad. We won 75 quid over 4 months, which we wouldn't have got if it just sat in the bank account. So everybody was happy with that. But because I was intending to invest in the premium bonds anyway, rather than draw those out and have to put them back in again, they were just left in there, because that's effectively my money, you know, what my inheritance bit. Everybody else has had their stuff now, it's all finished with. So I had that 25 and the 5, 30,000, and I've now put another 20 in, which is the maximum you're allowed. And I had a look at the stats, and basically 2/3 of the people who win reasonably large prizes, that's £1,000 upwards to the £1 million, have got the maximum investment. 2/3. I'm now one of those 2/3. So in theory, they say there's some luck involved. Are you a lucky person or not? I don't believe in luck. Not with things like that. It's just how the draw goes. You either get something or you don't. There's nothing you can do to influence it. So anyway, that's where a reasonable chunk has gone, and there's a reasonable amount left, which is my, you know, my monthly top up for my inadequate income, basically. But I quite like the idea of each day having a play with something that taxes my brain a bit, because there's a bit of maths involved. That's what calculators are for. We don't do it in our head and we don't surmise what these figures might be. We use the flipping calculator and work it out. And if necessary, I'll set up a spreadsheet and type it all in and get calculations going. So it sounds like a bit of fun that doesn't involve large amounts of money at risk. You see what I mean? So I'm happy to sort of go down the path and see where it leads. I think I'm reasonably sensible enough to know when to just say, uh-oh, I'm getting out now. But maybe I don't need to. So what do you think? Daft idea? Bit of fun? Minimum risk? Good idea? Reasonable return? Lots of small amounts add up together to make a reasonable addition to my income? What do you think? See you next time. Bye for now. And tomorrow I will do an orchid video. I will repot something. But at the moment everything is absolutely dripping wet, as you saw by the lens all misted up. But opening the window and the door, that's dropped the temperature. Look at the humidity. It's gone from 88 to 56, so it's a good job I turned the humidifier off. Now I don't know how long that was, but I can now shut the window and the door, turn the humidifier back on, and within 2 minutes I'll be back up to 75%. But I've dropped the temperature and I've got rid of that fog. So it's a very quick process. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by.